Hi, everyone. This is Victoria from Adelaide Capital. Thanks for joining us today. So today I'm here with Mark Binns, the CEO of BIGG Digital Assets, as well as Fraser Matthews, the new president coming in to join Mark at Netcoins. And Mark, maybe if you want to give a quick introduction for Fraser, and then we can jump right into it.
Yeah, thanks, Victoria. I'm excited to be here today. Thanks to everybody who's attending. I'm really excited to have Fraser with us here. First sort of introduction of him live to our stakeholders and investor community, and a chance for everyone to hear a bit about his background, learn about who he is and where he's going with Netcoins. And then after that, we'll talk more about BIGG and the portfolio companies and what we're doing as a business as well. So over to you guys, and welcome, Fraser.
Yeah, and so just for the audience, we're not going to do a full rundown of the presentation today. This is going to be a little bit different. It really is an opportunity for you guys to meet Fraser, and so we're going to handle it more as a Q&A and run through things that way. So with that, Fraser, hi, welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me today, Victoria.
I was hoping to run through a quick Q&A with you and get you in the hot seat. So we'll jump right in. Maybe you could just start by describing, your background and what you were doing prior to joining Netcoins.
Sure, that sounds great. Thank you. So my background has primarily been in the financial services industry. I started my career way back in the early 2000s, focused around FS space in management consulting. So I've worked with consultancies like Capco, with PwC here in Toronto. I worked with PwC in New York as well. And I've also worked with Ernst & Young. So over the last 15 years, I've been fortunate. I've been able to work on a number of kind of big projects in the past, things that are regulatory driven, like FATCA and BCBS, and as well digital transformation focused projects. Over the course of the career in FS, I've also been able to work in New York, in London, and in the last 7 years, I've been working in Dubai, in the Middle East. So with that, it's been a lot of work in digital transformation and kind of complex project delivery. And as well, I've done agency work. I've been the managing director of an agency in the Middle East called Tribal Scale that was part of a group called The Collective, which led me into a lot of digital bank and startup bank space. So from that, a lot of background and experience in how to kind of build up teams that can help to deliver complex projects, work in regulatory spaces, and ultimately best serve customers within the kind of mobile and online applications.
Wow, that's quite the resume. And then what inspired you to move into the digital asset space?
Yeah, it's a great question. We're seeing a lot of, I'd say, FS industry veterans start to move over to the digital asset space. And a lot of it's driven by where the market is going. There's a lot of investment, a lot of customer sentiment gaining momentum in this space. And what we're seeing as well within the digital asset space is a lot of excitement around new projects. There's a lot of testing and learning going on in the marketplace as well. And a great way to kind of take the domain knowledge from banking and come over into the crypto world and the digital asset space and help to grow out what really can be the future of financial services.
And then I guess more specifically, what was it about BIGG and Netcoins that made this the right opportunity and the right fit for you?
For me, BIGG is a great team with seasoned executive leadership that's been in the domain and been in the space for a number of years. As well, for me, seeing diversification of investments across a number of different types of companies was very exciting. So seeing metaverse, seeing regulated technology, seeing clues, seeing different products and services really said to me that this is an organization that's going to make investments in the space to keep us on the forefront of what's coming up, and as well create opportunities for the companies to work together to build out best-in-class customer serving products. As well, seeing it regulated with a focus on being compliant was really important to me. And an added value as well is being part of a publicly traded organization. So we're focused on delivering investor value. That's kind of the core goal for us each and every day. We're not having to go out and do big raises and focus on capital and stuff like that. We can focus on growth opportunities within the organization and within the sector together.
And then I guess what lessons have you learned, previously in your career that now coming into BIGG, you think you can, or Netcoins specifically, I guess, you think you can bring with you?
Yeah. So one thing I've had a lot of success in doing is growing large scale engineering teams and scaling organizations that are in good points where we can kind of inflect the organization and push it forward. Netcoins is proven, the model's proven, customers use it day to day and love it. And what's exciting is growing that, whether it's from a brand perspective, from application perspective. I definitely have experience in that. And as well, coming from the banking space, building partnerships that we can take our core products and expand them either through partnerships or ourselves. I think adding on to the portfolio of what Netcoins offers is something else that I have experience in.
So then I guess, as an outsider and now, not outsider anymore, but coming in, with fresh eyes and looking at Netcoins, what type of growth or changes do you think, you can bring and take into effect?
Yeah, it's a great question as well. So for this one, it's a deep focus on our customer base. So listening to our customers, understanding what their feedback is, working with them to help grow our product and our platform. That would be really important for us, and we'll make sure to grow in that area. As well, it'll be evolving the offering beyond kind of the entry level needs for a crypto investor. So for us, we've had great growth on the coins that we're offering this year. So we've gone from 11 into the 30s with a few more to come soon. As well, it'll be looking at new partnerships to help give a better overall product to our customers. So there's some great partners in the market that we'll look to work with, both for customer facing ventures and as well for some B2B potential ventures. We'll definitely look to kind of grow out some of our core products and services. So our trade platform, look to have new features embedded within that to make it easier for customers to do things on a day-to-day basis and potentially on a recurring basis. And as well, we're really looking to energize the brand as well. So we're going to take some inspiration from the ongoing Web3 evolution that we're seeing right now and make sure that we're at the forefront of the branding department as far as how it goes.
So then what would you say your primary objective is for 2022 for Netcoins?
Yeah, for us, it's bringing together the product and experience for our customers. So we want to have a real wow factor in the market now. We want to make sure that we're at the forefront of what customers expect to see from a platform and make sure that we've got all of those kind of brilliant basics completed, and as well have a great experience. So how you interact with us, how you work with Netcoins, how you speak with us, use our applications. We want that to be really exciting. As well, we'll look at additional coins that can bring us amongst the leaders in Canada. We want to make sure that we've got a great product and make sure that we've got great coins that we can offer as well. And on top of that, bringing together the user experience that we've got one of the best apps, not only in Canada, but in North America.
Would you be able to provide us an update on, any progress for Netcoins moving into the US?
Yeah, definitely. So we've continued to work on this in the background. So this year we've seen a lot of things in the news around changing regulatory requirements in the United States. And it's something that we've remained focused on and diligent on. So we continue to work with our team on how to set up the operation in the most efficient way. There's state-by-state approaches. There's some multi-entry approach as well, and we're exploring both of those. So we remain committed to getting into the US during this year. We're looking at a target of Q4. And we'll make sure that we focus on states that have high populations, have experience within the crypto industry, and are going to be good partners for us so that we can continue to focus on being a strong regulatory partner that's focused on compliance.
And then what about any new initiatives that you're working on? Anything you can tell us about?
Yeah, definitely. So we're looking at our USA launch, of course, so we'll be excited for that as we kind of push through the rest of the year. We will have a few new coins being added to the platform in the next 7 days. We'll be really excited for that. It will definitely take us amongst the leaders here in Canada. We're also looking at building out the experience part of our mobile application. So getting us to have a kind of best-in-class look and feel to go along with our great products. And as well, looking at partnerships. So we feel really strongly about having a B2B offering, and it's something that we'll be exploring the market for great partners to work with in the future.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm sure we'll come back to you in a bit of the Q&A at the end, but I did want to jump to Mark for just a little bit. Mark, congratulations. So you guys just added, another portfolio company into the BIGG family. Can you tell us a little bit more about Luxxfolio and then what made you want to get into the crypto mining space?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're excited about adding Luxxfolio to the family. Ultimately, BIGG Digital Assets is a digital assets company, and our plan right from day one was to own a diverse group of assets, whether they're actually companies in different spaces or physical assets or, virtual assets, I guess I should say themselves, like different coins, et cetera. So, we started out originally, we had two companies. We had a trading company, crypto trading platform with Netcoins, and we had forensics with Blockchain Intelligence Group and Clue. And those were actually two separate companies. If for any investors that go back before 2019, And we said, listen, let's put them together. And I actually have a slide from way back in 2018 where it was like, okay, these are the first two, but let's build or own leaders in their different spaces and build a diversified company. So that's what we've continued to do. So we have our forensics business with Clue, trading with Netcoins. Then we layered in at the start of this year and really the end of last year, we made our first investment into TerraZero in the metaverse and NFT space. And obviously missing was a mining company. Crypto mining companies have seen excellent valuations historically in the space. And with the fall off of the value of Bitcoin and corresponding crypto, a real opportunity came up. We were looking at a bunch of different mining companies, started talking to Ken McLean, who is the CEO over at Luxxfolio, and understanding their operation. Canadian-based company, so easy for us to interact with and do business with and meet with. They have offices in Calgary and Vancouver, and their operation is in the States, and they actually have an operation on native lands, Navajo tribe, where they get really good discounted power and a steady supply of power to an operation there, and essentially built-in staffing. So through a lot of hard work of their own and efforts, they were able to set up an operation to mine crypto, and they're doing it in the the $8,000 to $9,000 US a coin range, which is a pretty good, effective production cost, even at $20,000 US Bitcoin. And we know that they have strong balance sheet. We made an investment in them. They're good for the long term. And we believe that, right now is the time to be looking in the market for opportunities. And they became available, an opportunity. We saw them, we like them. They like what BIGG is doing. They liked having an ownership from a diversified company. They probably could have sold to one single larger miner, but then they would lose control of their operation, right? And they'd be merged in with us. They can continue to operate their business and do what they do really well. And we can have an ownership stake and promote them. I also love that they're a public company. So they trade in Canada under LUXX, and they trade in the States under LUXFF as their ticker. And you can buy and invest in Lux directly alongside BIGG. So you can have ownership in two different ways, through our diversified holding company of BIGG Digital Assets. But you can also go buy their stock on the open market, and it gives us liquidity. So when the market turns and there's a bull market and the values are significantly higher, if we want, we can diversify out of that investment. We have a full warrant on our investment. So it's like getting a 2-for-1 on it. And we're really, again, glad to have the diversity and excited for that business and where it's going.
So what are their plans then over the remainder of 2022? Like, what should we be watching for out of them?
Yeah, they're going to be increasing petahashes. So the big, there's sort of two plans for them. One is to continue to add mining rigs. They have a steady monthly supply of them coming in from orders that they did in the past. So they'll be able to increase capacity, which will increase revenue. No matter what the price of Bitcoin is, it will increase their revenues. And they're moving into immersion. And immersion is where you actually sink the mining rigs into fluids or liquid that make them run cooler and run more efficiently. And then they can overclock the rigs. So we're getting a little technical, but overclocking just means speeding up the processor power. So they essentially run faster, and then ultimately they'll produce more Bitcoins from the same machine. So they have some pretty exciting initiatives. I think they'll be announcing and showing some stuff on social media about their immersion tanks that they have coming in. And finally, I know they're doing some research into other coins, right? So they're looking at, where do you optimize revenue? For them, it's about mining, but it doesn't have to be mining Bitcoin. That's primarily their business. They're definitely looking at Filecoin specifically, and they're talking about that and where the opportunity is with Filecoin and what the economics look like, and testing it out. So they're an innovative group. Ken and the team are definitely looking at all the right ways to grow the business, grow revenue, explore diversification, I guess you'd say. So we're proud and excited to have an investment with them.
So coming back to BIGG then, so 4 portfolio companies, is this the right number? Do you guys need some time to digest? Are you guys still out there? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, we're still out there. I mean, it's very easy to digest the minority investments. Yeah. You don't have to fully take control and merge them in. So, Luxxfolio is still operating the same as it was the day before we invested. Same essentially with TerraZero. We have, more oversight, board involvement, et cetera. But it's great to bring in, invest in fully operating businesses with their own management team. The market is clearly depressed for, crypto stocks in the market. So we're going to keep looking. We might go 6 months or a year and not make any more investments, but, I'm continuously talking to CEOs in the industry. every single week. Early stage crypto companies, maybe great companies that are undercapitalized, that don't have the ability to raise capital in the current market environment. Those are tremendous opportunities for BIGG. So we're going to keep looking. I'm going to keep talking to industry participants, and if something really good comes up, we'll move on it. And if not, we're happy to sit tight and continue to grow and invest in the four businesses we have.
And then, we've talked about Netcoin, we've talked about Luxxfolio. So maybe just if you could provide a quick update on what's going on with Blockchain Intelligence Group, and then TerraZero as well. They've had, some interesting news out recently with some of the stuff they're doing in the metaverse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Blockchain Intelligence Group is, I absolutely love that business and what Clue is doing, right? The more you hear right now in the industry, the need for regulation and the need for safety and security, it just screams Clue, right? This whole company, Blockchain Intelligence Group, was built. I think the tagline was something like bringing security and accountability to the cryptocurrency space. So that product is going to be needed more and more in the future of crypto to both help get rid of the Wild West mentality and environment in the space, and also to secure the space. So it's products being sold globally. The other product inside of Blockchain Intelligence Group is called BitRank. And we haven't talked a lot about it, but it is really ranking the quality of wallets and transactions. And again, if you want to be in a secure, regulated environment, you want to know that you're not getting coins sent to your exchange from the black market, let's say, or from an illegal activity or a heist. And BitRank can actually monitor those for every exchange in the world. So they're going to keep adding attributions, basically risk scoring more and more wallets. They're going to be adding a steady supply of blockchains. So they just added, I think it was Doge and Dash recently, with more coming. And it's sort of like Netcoins adding coins. The more chains they can track, the more valuable that product is to law enforcement globally. So Lance and his team over there are doing a fantastic job to continue to evolve and grow that business as the market that it operates in is getting bigger on, a monthly and quarterly and annually basis, right? Annual basis. So that's what's happening over there. In TerraZero, Dan is doing a fantastic, Dan Reitzik, the CEO of the company, doing a fantastic job of putting that company in front of brands and helping them solve problems. So they're actually, you mentioned some news, they just did a deal with Jason Derulo, and I believe it's Atlantic Records, to launch his big summer single in the metaverse. And Jason Derulo has 52.2 million followers on social media. So, you got to think about how big of a population of eyeballs that is. It's being press released. It's being pushed out by the record companies. People will know who TerraZero is, and they're being entrusted with brands, global brands like music stars, record labels. They've done work with, the Miller Lights of the world. They're doing stuff in the beauty space, Estee Lauder, you name it. They have a laundry list of brands that need a metaverse strategy, and they're working feverishly to help build those experiences. And their studio gets paid every time they stand up an experience in the metaverse. And they also are coming out with a product that's basically going to help you figure out how to buy and sell land or rent land in the metaverse. Think of in Canada, like a realtor.ca, but for virtual land. There is tremendous opportunity in front of them. I've asked Dan specifically, as the market calmed down in the metaverse, as we see the crypto markets getting a bit more depressed, and he said there's been no change from brands calling them wanting to have a metaverse strategy built for them. So he's got a long list of clients backed up, figuring out how do we get either an experience or a concert thrown, or a song launched, or a sandwich shop set up, in the metaverse. And at the risk of being long-winded, there's one more thing I want to say is they're enabling what they call v-commerce. So Web 2.0 e-commerce came along. You go to a website and you could buy, Adidas shoes off the internet, and they get shipped to your house. In Web 3.0, in virtual commerce, you can walk into that same Adidas store in Decentraland and look at all the different shoes they sell as 3D images, inspect them and say, I want to buy that one. And then it will show up at your house, just like in the e-commerce world, but it's being, done through a metaverse experience, virtual reality, 3D imaging, and we're early stages, right? It's bleeding edge. And those are the kind of companies that we want to be involved with and invested in, the ones that are at the forefront of their industry and helping push it ahead. So that's the TerraZero story.
I feel like we got to get TerraZero on a webinar.
Yeah, I think we will do one of these with Dan. The three of us, you, me, and Dan, and he can give you a lot more detailed information. But every time I talk to him, I come away excited.
Okay, well, those are the ends of my questions for you guys, but there are some audience questions that have come in that I've been collecting. So I'm just going to try to run through them quickly and be respectful of your time as well. I know you guys only have a few more minutes. So firstly, could you provide an update on a TSX listing for BIGG?
Yeah, we're continuing to talk with the TSX group, the listing committee, and the business development people. We are committed to the path. We have to file what's called an AIF, an annual information form, that basically discloses everything about our business, all the risks, all of the operations, et cetera. It's a normal thing that you do every sort of year and a half. It's called an annual one, but you have a little more than a year to do it. And we're due to file one. So we just finished the Q1 financials after a huge undertaking and effort to do the annual audit with KPMG. And the AIF is next. So we're getting that completed to be filed. And that'll be used as a listing statement, essentially for the TSX to list us. So once we get that filed, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, then we can go back to the TSX and begin their process. As an operating business, every day, week and month, we have 100 priorities, and some stuff has to come sooner than other things, but we're working through it, and it's still a plan for this year.
And then also, so can you just address a little bit? So it's obviously volatile in crypto right now. So can you just let us know what you're seeing kind of firsthand through some of your portfolio companies out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's, activity goes up and down. I mean, crypto, when it's volatile, is actually good for Netcoins. We've talked about this a lot, but big volatile days, we see more trading, we see more selling, we see more buying. And then days when it sits at a certain price, there was a while where it sat at 30,000 US every day, Bitcoin, that is, or 20,000, it slows down in volatility, and then trading slows down. So it depends on the day and the week for Netcoins. For Blockchain Intelligence Group, again, we're seeing even more interest in regulated products, which is fantastic, or products that help regulation and support compliance, et cetera. And, we talked about TerraZero and Luxxfolio, but, we're seeing a market of a bit of uncertainty and flux, but our whole business was built for it from day one. We have a slide in our deck that always said, we're somewhat agnostic or completely agnostic to the price of crypto. Trading volume or trades don't care what the price of crypto is. We still get paid, right? Clue is sold as monthly software licenses, software as a service. The underlying price of crypto assets has no bearing on that revenue stream, et cetera. Same with TerraZero. Luxxfolio is the one that's exposed to the price of crypto, but again, they're built in with a good cost base.
So, and then this question, you've kind of already answered it in terms of the perspective of BIGG and adding adding additional portfolio companies. But from within your portfolio standpoint, like Netcoins, for example, is the current environment creating strategic opportunities for well-capitalized players like yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, it is, right? Again, I get called by different organizations in the crypto space, either directly or, bolt-ons or adjunct to the industry, and say, hey, here's what we're doing in the space. Do you want to have a look? And a year ago, they would come in, with $100 million valuation, and they're just three guys in a PowerPoint deck, right? And now they come in with more realistic expectations for what they're doing and where the market is, and we're in a good capitalized position, so we can look at those opportunities. So for sure, there's opportunity in the market. And again, it'll have to be a very specific good fit with us before we do anything. But if we see something that does make sense for one of our companies or their customers or our stakeholders overall, we would move on it.
And then I know, mining companies, obviously, they're a little bit more exposed to the prices of different crypto assets. So how do you plan to navigate the opportunities for Luxxfolio in this market?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit earlier. I mean, immersion is a big new thing for them. It's a way of getting a lot more Bitcoin, for example, out of the same machine. So if you can't move the price, if you can move the production of your machines, then you can actually generate more revenue in the same environment. And then, they're continuing to look at strategic opportunities like Filecoin, like I mentioned. Is there other ways in this current market to generate higher revenues from the same, infrastructure, power costs, hardware, facilities? So Ken and the team continue to evaluate those situations and see where the best returns come from.
And then you previously mentioned TerraZero's success with brands entering the metaverse. Has the current market changed anything in terms of demand?
No, I think demand of brands wanting to get in front of consumers and sell them products and be part of the experiences they're having online, at the core of it, has not changed and will not change, right? They are in, let's say, the metaverse, NFT, loosely crypto space, but their core business is selling, helping brands sell experiences to customers and engage with customers to generate revenue. So no material change in the desire of global brands to sell to customers.
And then I know that you guys are a little bit pressed for time, so I'm just going to ask one last question. What is your strategy with Clue? Do you have any plans to try to divest this asset, or what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, we are fully devoted to growing the business and selling it, their products globally. No change, business as usual. We think demand will continue to rise for that space. One other point actually about Blockchain Intelligence Group is we do our crypto training. So we sell the certified cryptocurrency investigator course online to teach people about crypto and how to do investigations in crypto, which leads them to using our products. That product is being translated into multiple other languages right now and being launched in non-English speaking jurisdictions. And we think it could have a tremendous growth opportunity for us, both in the revenue of the courses itself, but then also in product revenue that comes from it, because we're going to do launch in Mandarin. And yes, there'll be a lot more of the world that can actually buy the course, but then they will also be seeing Clue and seeing some of our promotions. So business as usual, it's enterprise sales. It's a every day and every week and every month out there by the sales team, finding new customers that need to be on the right side of compliance, regulation, and security. And the good news is I think that market is only becoming more and more important every week in the current environment.
Okay, so let's end it there. I do want to thank everyone for joining us today. Fraser, it was great to meet you. Also, there are a few audience questions that we didn't get to, but there's some of them that I've read that we actually did address previously in the webinar. So if you did join late, just make sure that you watch back the webinar on Adelaide Capital's YouTube channel, and then some of your questions will be answered there as well. And you can always email me directly at victoria@adcap.ca to get some of your questions answered. So thanks, Mark. Thanks, Fraser. And thanks everyone again for joining.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.